To use a DMAC assessment rubric in your course, you first need to set up an assignment where the rubric will be applied. You can see here that we have the rubric testing assignment ready to go, and we'll begin from the assignment screen. Click the plus rubric button. Then on the right, click Find a Rubric. In the dialog box that pops up, you'll see all rubrics you have access to based on the pathway sub-account your course is assigned to. All rubrics created for DMAC assessment purposes will be named accordingly so that they're easy to identify. You can see at the DMAC account level, there are several rubrics designed to assess each of DMAC's essential learning outcomes. Many of you will use one of these rubrics in your course, but for this example, we'll use a rubric we've placed in the business pathway sub-account for accounting. Make sure the rubric is selected and then click Use this rubric at the bottom of the box. Now you can see the rubric has been attached to your assignment. The first thing to notice in this rubric is that the row titled Accounting Specialist 3.0 has a small bullseye icon next to it. This icon is used to identify DMAC assessment outcomes, or competencies as they're called at the college. In this case, we're using the Accounting Specialist Program Competency 3. You'll see in a minute why this icon becomes helpful. The next thing to notice is that the achievement ratings for the outcome are already defined. Achievement ratings are set for each outcome when it's imported into Canvas, and faculty aren't able to adjust them. You'll also notice that this row has a maximum score of 3 points. However, by default, assessment outcomes are not set to be calculated in a student's grade, and you can see that the point value for the rubric is still 0. Since our assignment is worth 5 points and we'd want to use this rubric for grading, we'll need to add a row and give it a point value. In order to do this, we can edit the rubric by clicking on the pencil icon. Here you can add more rows so that students can be assessed based on additional criteria. For example, in this case, maybe we want to add a criterion regarding conflict resolution. You're able to set your own achievement ratings for the criteria you add to the rubric. You can see by default, Canvas set this row to 5 points, which matches our assignment. Notice that our conflict resolution row doesn't have a bullseye icon like the first row. This makes it easy to tell the difference between DMAC assessment criteria and the ones you create yourself. After you're done adding criteria to the rubric, check the box to Use this rubric for assignment grading. Alternatively, if you don't want to use the rubric for grading, you can check the box to remove points from the rubric. You're still able to adjust the achievement ratings on the rows you added as desired, but checking this box will allow you to complete the rubric for your students and independently award them a point value for their assignment. Just one more note on this screen. You can see that I have the option to find an outcome to add to this rubric. This option won't be available to faculty in an effort to simplify your lives and reduce the risk of inaccuracies in our data and reporting. To assess DMAC outcomes, you'll always need to start from a rubric that was created for that purpose and that already contains at least one outcome. Once you've made these decisions, click Update Rubric, and you're ready to assess your student's work. Okay, so our student has submitted their assignment and we're ready to grade their attempt. There are several ways to get to where we need to be, but in this case, we're looking at the grades screen. Click on the icon in the column for our rubric testing assignment. Canvas will allow you to simply enter a point value for the attempt, but we'd need to evaluate the rubric. Click on the arrow icon that pops up. On the right side of the screen, a dialog box will appear. Click on Speed Grader, which will open up a larger window for you to review the student's work and submit a grade. In the box on the right, click View Rubric. Canvas will allow you to select achievement levels on each row, which will auto-populate the points awarded to the student. Click Save and you're done.